Luckily, the third one's an accountant.
I want shoulder pads, not ironically.
That was weird. I might bring my own goat cheese.
Hello, and welcome to Fourth Wheel Podcast with your favorite throuple,
Will,
Paige,
and Cam. On today's episode, we've got another great guest for y'all as we discuss the joys and challenges of house hunting as a throuple, along with some of the fun things we ran into along the way. But first, let's tell you a little bit about our guest, who made his start at McDonald's from the time he was 16, then a training executive with a big box retailer, and now realtor extraordinaire, our Jermaine repeat realtor. That's so much alliteration. Jermaine, who we knew would be the perfect fit for our unique home buying process.
thanks for joining us, Jermaine. We're thrilled to have you here, and hopefully before this episode airs, we'll be accepting an offer on our house currently listed. And if not, and there's anyone looking for a place, a great starter home in Allen, Texas, we know one that's on the market, so hit us up. So before we officially kick things off, whenever we have close friends like yourself join for our podcast on Fourth Wheel, and as our Fourth Wheel, we like to start by asking what their initial thoughts and reactions were to learning about us being a throuple, seeing us interact for the first time, and then throughout the time you've known us. And we kind of sprung it on you in our first official meeting for the current home buying process. So what was that like?
it really was. It was a shock to me because when Cam originally, when she originally reached out, she was like, my partners and I are wanting to get a house. And I'm like, interest rates are not that expensive where you have to get a house with your business partners. Like, what the world are you thinking? And then I was like, okay, she's playing, she's not serious. And then she messaged again, and I was like, okay, well, let's just meet. And then we met at the pizza restaurant.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then I saw the three of y'all together, and then Will got up to wash his hands. And then he kissed Cam on the head, and I was like, Cam was like, what, you didn't know? And I was like, girl, I thought you meant business partners. I had no clue that y'all were like a relationship, like heart partners, mind partners. I thought it was only business. I was like, that's what I was like.
Surprise.
Yeah, surprise. I had no clue. No clue. None at all.
That was my favorite part of the day. The genuine shock on your face.
I was like, whoa.
Okay, let me change gears here.
Yeah.
Like,
I had no clue.
This is different.
But for me, I feel like it felt so natural because y'all just seemed so comfortable with one another, and it didn't feel like you were trying to surprise me with anything when you mentioned it. And because there are so many things in my life that are kind of like, oh, I've had to figure it out because I've been the only one in so many scenarios, when I come across different things that are somewhat unexpected, I'm like, oh, well, of course, that works. What are y'all ordering?
Assuming it's safe to say that we were your first throuple clients.
Yes, first throuple client.
Ooh.
Yeah, never experienced that before, and it's really been exciting.
And you can tell on our house buying journey, other folks in the industry, it's been their first experience with it too.
You know what? Surprisingly, even when I was talking to Blake, he never gave me any type of indication that he was uncomfortable or never asked any inquisitive questions and never made any type of, it felt like he was just kind of like, okay, well, 3 people are getting a house instead of 2 or instead of 1. I never got a feeling or any type of anything that he was awkward about it, or maybe he was a bit jealous.
Right. about
That is often the thing.
about the other model homes and stuff that we went to see the other builders.
Yeah.
A lot of times they would come ask us, and we would be upfront with them because if we were going to buy from them, it was going to come out at some point. But nobody ever raised an eyebrow. They were just like, oh, okay, so you probably need this space. It just did not faze them at all, which was great, especially in this area of Texas, or just in Texas in general, I guess, to come across so many people that were able to just gloss over it and treat it like it was a completely normal thing without any shock or even the curiosity, which normally is one of our favorite parts, is the curiosity and kind of that shock value a little bit. But to have people also just readily accept it is validating in itself too.
Yeah.
Is it also a little bit of pretty privilege and maybe a little bit of white privilege?
It's always a little bit of white privilege.
Yeah, right. So, like, we've talked about what we look like on past episodes, and we have talked about how we are perceived most of the time. And at 6'2", most people aren't to share their disagreements with me, with my size. So I think we often see that internalization of just like this sheer panic of like, all right, just non-smile, while they're like, I didn't hear that right. They're just friends, right?
I like to think about them going home to their partner at night and be like,
I want to try something.
You're not gonna believe what I ran into today.
Oh, yeah.
Who came through our doors? It was a throuple.
You know, I really think that it's probably through the lens of, as realtors, we've seen so many different people, and they have different needs, and they have different wants, and they have different backgrounds. So, or even from a financial perspective, it's like, just tell us what you're going through so we can figure it out. Scenario, you don't have to be embarrassed because we want to make you
Yeah.
happy. It's a big investment. It's not like you're going to dinner. You're purchasing something that's several hundred thousands of dollars. So it's kind of like when we know, hey, this is the needs, we can make sure you get exactly what you want. But from the privilege perspective, I really, really think that the level of comfort that it's evident with you all, even the times that we dine together or just casual conversations, you feel so natural and confident in your relationship. It reminds me, this is not to steal the story, but it just reminds me of me growing up when I decided to come out. Like most people don't have the coming out story that I do, but because I was so confident with myself, it felt like my family had no choice but to be comfortable with me being myself, because it was like, this is who I am. So since y'all are so confident about your relationship and so comfortable with one another, I think it just resonates with everyone. Like, oh, why would we have something negative to say about them?
Yeah.
They're in love. They're in a relationship together. So I think it's beautiful.
I absolutely love that. And I love hearing that about your story coming out as well, and the support system that you have in your family accepting that willingly.
100%.
And
Maybe 99, but
that's fair.
I don't have the typical coming out story.
But
at all.
it speaks even to what I tell my clients in dating as well, right? Is if you project yourself with confidence and positivity and you radiate that authenticity, that is infectious, and people want to receive that.
Yeah.
And they want to support it, and they want to be around it.
Yeah.
And so when you can really have that confidence in something like our relationship dynamic, where it is non-traditional, but if we treat it as normal, maybe everybody else will too. And
Yeah.
we have nothing to be ashamed of, just like you have nothing to be ashamed of. And, we are all just living our truth.
Yeah.
And that's always going to be beautiful.
It's so beautiful. Drop dead gorgeous, just like y'all. Ugh.
Thank you. And I want to add on, what the fuck is normal? I think normalizing happiness is the most important thing we can strive for on this podcast, right? And it is often we tend to run on these tangents because this is normal. We're just having a conversation. And so it's easy to get lost in these conversations because it's not weird. It's just love and a relationship.
Yeah. And, as a society, we grow up with these boxes that society does want to put everybody into, and these societal norms that everyone expects you to adhere to. And that is really the only thing providing any sort of path for someone towards normal, right? And oddly enough, that doesn't equate happiness, right? It's when you are authentically you and living your truth and deviating from those norms or deviating from the path that somebody says you have to take this, you have to do things this way. When you can break free of those chains, those are the happiest people I have ever met. It's the ones that are trying to make it fit when they clearly don't, that live a whole lifetime of either shame or internalized guilt or, just misery, unfortunately.
Well, it's really interesting because it's death and taxes, not happiness and taxes. And taxes and tax law has resulted in what we know as the nuclear traditional family for decades now. Like before modern day tax law, family units were really different, but that's governed so much of how people build their taxable household. And that's actually dictated what we consider to be normal in terms of a family unit. So it's interesting.
A husband, wife, 2
Yeah.
kids, the dog with the picket fence. It's like, no, it's actually a fractionized number of kids.
Right? It's definitely not 7.
100% agree with all of that. But let's talk about how difficult it is to go against that normalcy of a 2-person like structure for a family and like the traditional nuclear family structure, especially when you're trying to buy a house in Texas.
Yeah, there's not a lot of existing homes that are designed for 3 adults, living in the same, bedroom space, and not to mention accommodating multiple adults' work from home space, et cetera, et cetera. So when we started looking, I'm sure, Jermaine, that you are really glad that we didn't have to go around looking at 50 different pre-existing homes, because we quickly found out that kind of new builds were going to be the most versatile for us to find something that could work, with Will needing a studio space, Paige and I both needing work from home space, the kiddo needing his own space as he's, going to be growing up even more. And, then just having enough closet space for all of us in general, or sink space. And, do you think that there's actually a floor plan out there, custom or no, that could have worked better for us than the one that we landed on?
I really think that the floor plan you guys chose was absolutely phenomenal for not only your life today, but then as you guys get older and evolve and lives change. But I really do believe that when you think about homes that were built in the 2000s, like early 2000s, they have a standard blueprint per se. And then you go to 2010, they're still about the same through that generation. And then you go to or like the late teens, early 2020s, they have kind of a layout. And then you think about all of the different changes that happen naturally. I think that the house that y'all chose, it encompasses all of that. The great thing about it is you had so many options to customize the home. So I really think that someone in your type of relationship, you really would want to seek out going with a semi-custom builder or a flat-out custom builder, so therefore you can ensure that you can enclose that front dining space that no one's going to use into a secondary office and be able to do all of the extra built-ins and, let's add this extra closet, so therefore you can accommodate everyone for the adults. But then also being able to ensure that there's a small one involved, that they can have their own space and feel like, okay, well, I have 3 adults that I'm living with instead of just the traditional mom and dad. 3 people are driving me crazy, not just 2. So I can go upstairs and be in my own space and have my own domain. And when I'm ready to deal with it.
He's very excited about his domain. He has big plans.
How could he not be? That upstairs is incredible. But it gives the flexibility of the swell and the flow, and the swell and when it shrinks. It's beautiful. It really is.
And for our listeners, we actually, thankfully, the builder we went with, we actually went with the model home, that floor plan, and they had us at the bathroom because the bathroom has this really, really long vanity with, room for 3+ people. Yeah. Not that there will ever be a plus.
Y'all made that very clear.
But everyone can have their own space. We've got plenty of cabinet space and everything, and the shower alone, with it takes up a whole wall, and it, sometimes that might be necessary.
Yeah.
So between that and the closet, I know that a number of the other floor plans we went through, it's like they would get a handful of things right, and then others just didn't make sense, not even just didn't make sense for us as a throuple, but didn't make sense
In general.
Period.
Yeah, like the primary closets in a lot of these floor plans that were pretty massive floor plans. The primary closets are seldom even enough for two people.
It's like, where did the shoes go?
Yeah, I don't understand how it's so strange. It's so much wasted space.
It's
in a
for
lot
the
of floor plans.
minimalistic lifestyle.
But so I just want to point out the fact that they didn't blink an eye at like the throuple honestly kind of does go back to what Jermaine has said about being realtor. You have to accommodate a lot of things because no different than religion, right? Whenever you have a household that's kosher or all of the other religious things that I don't know, where
Halal.
they have halal and things where they have to cook separately or yada,
just
yada,
a
yada.
cultural.
Yeah, like why not? Come on, all I'm asking for is a vanity with 3 sinks.
Yeah, we weren't able to get that, but I think we're as close as we could get.
Did your approach change for helping us find a home for 3 adults? Because I know we briefly talked on customization and stuff, but we had some weird wants and requirements.
I really feel that since Cam has purchased with me before, and I already knew that there was already a Jermaine level of, okay, these are going to be what most people would feel are heightened expectations, but they're just normal things. So I already knew that there was going to be some extra requirements that are going to be involved. So through that lens, and as I was saying earlier, when you know what the expectation is.
Are you calling me high maintenance?
Yes, and that's what I was laughing about over here.
I called you Jermaine.
I'll take your amazing.
You already understand the need and you already understand the expectation. So it's not like you can just automatically assume that, oh yeah, this is going to be a cookie cutter scenario. It's like, no, this is someone who has specific wants and needs. So why not be tuned in to what those needs are? So, but the answer to your question is, I don't necessarily think that has changed per se, but the one thing that I had to do from a personality wise is I had to remember that there are 2 ladies that are in this home buying process, and I can't just be like, Paige, oh my God, you smell so good. Oh my gosh. And then Cam's right next to me because I wouldn't want you to be like, well, do I stink? So that was one thing that I had to make sure that I wasn't paying too much or being too complimentary to Cameron because I've known her longer, and then not giving Paige any compliment.
Oh, so you know what it's like to be Will.
Oh my! I
know,
am
is that a
feeling
thing?
So validated over here. I am like, yes.
Wow.
Speak the truth.
I did, seriously, another story for another day.
That's what it's like to be in a
That's
throuple.
I was gonna say that's what none of the stories are now.
Well, I
Story time?
complimented
No? Yes.
one of my neighbor's husbands. I was like, oh my God, you look so good. I'd never met him before. And his wife was like, what about me? I see you all the time. What? I'm like, I'm wanting to make you feel great about your husband and making him feel great about, oh my God, the gay guy said I look good. Oh,
Right?
oh.
I first of all, I love that you understand that straight guys then use that as a
Yes.
badge of honor to be like, no,
Some.
I do have style. That gay guy just told me I looked good.
I mean, there was a TikTok I was watching the other day, and there was a guy. He dropped his wallet, and the guy that was doing the video. He was like, "Oh, sir, here's your wallet." And before he could even get out, "Here's your wallet." The guy that lost the wallet was like, "No, I'm straight." It was like he was like,
my
"Dude,
gosh.
you dropped your wallet." He was like, "Oh, bro, thanks." It's like I was just trying to give you your wallet, but
Have you watched the show Hacks?
no. Oh my God, with big eyes.
Jean
Oh.
Smart. I forget the younger actress's name, but the one who plays the writer in the show, she's bisexual, and every place she's in the 3rd season, and she's trying to talk to someone, the response is always, "I have a boyfriend."
Screaming. Oh my God, that is so funny. May I take your order? Gosh, it's so crazy.
It's a great show.
Wow.
It's a really great show.
Now, I will say you probably had an interesting challenge at first, though, and that, yes, the idea of now you're dealing with 3 people's opinions. And it was like a bad House Hunters episode beginning of being like, Oh, he's a actor and photographer, and she's a dating coach. Luckily, the third one's an accountant, so we didn't fully commit the house hunter's occupational sins. But that seems like a challenge for then the bucket of a wish list we had.
I really think that in certain situations, it could be very difficult to manage, but I feel that because you all have very different styles per se, not necessarily styles from a design aesthetic or an aesthetic part, but I know that Paige is very analytical and detailed. Where's my spreadsheet? Cam is very visual. So, and then do you think that Will is kind of, no offense, but why did you mute me? Oh, you didn't.
I like how you assumed it, though.
I was like, did you mute me?
You moved away from the mic.
Maybe that's what it was.
No, I didn't touch it. I was excited to hear my horoscope.
But no, it really genuine feels like Will wants the women happy. So
Aww.
it's like, and it was great to also be that person that if that he didn't have to be the bad guy. Like I could be like, Cam, Paige, so therefore he could follow me versus y'all can go home happy. I can't believe Jermaine.
Matt saved me today. Did you see him save me?
What'd you say?
Oh yeah. So all right. So little update for our listeners. We are deep in this home building process. We just did our pre-drywall inspection where we go through and make sure all of the outlets and everything are where they're supposed to be. That way they can move it before they put insulation in. Surprise, they already had put the insulation in, and now they're still moving outlets. But we were like, all right, well, what else do we want to change? We can change other things, right? And Cam was like, oh, hey, we've been talking to him. None of us want this bench here next to the mudroom. And I was like, whoa. I want the bench. And she was like, well, Paige and I have talked and we don't want the bench. And I was like, yeah, but I want the bench. Like, the bench looks cute. Like, I've always wanted a bench. And she wasn't being mean or anything about it, right?
I didn't fight you on it.
But, like, I could tell we were, like, there's potential for bickering and disagreement, right?
You had just never voiced that the bench was important to you. So that was the first I was hearing of it.
I had never heard that it wasn't. And that we were to get rid of the bench.
No,
This is
we
a
had just
glimpse
talked about
into
it
what
several
it was like
times for the
during the
animals
tour.
feeding area.
So we start to go back and forth like this, right? And Matt clocks it and he hears it and he's like, hey, not to like intrude or anything on you guys or like get in the middle of this, but we're keeping the bench because we already ordered it and it's on its way, so you've already paid for it, so we're keeping the bench.
He was like,
and I was
I'm
like,
killing
cool.
this.
Issue solved.
I wasn't there for this, so that's hysterical.
So for our listeners, one of the craziest things about this home buying process with this builder is that they are actually running several months, like 5 months, it feels like, ahead of schedule. And every time we go out there, it seems that they've moved up the timeline for when this house is going to be done. And when we originally signed the contract, it was going to work out perfectly for selling their home in the spring and putting mine on the market for rent, and then being all able to move in together, before the summer, right at the end of the school year. It was going to be perfect. And no, then they tell us at the pre-construction meeting, oh yeah, no, we should be on pace to finish in January. We're like, well, excuse us?
Everybody's looking at their calendars like, wait a minute.
Yeah, I had major panic attacks that day, and Jermaine, I'm sure you did too. And then Will and Paige had to go into overdrive. Well, all three of you did, trying to get their house ready to list as soon as possible so that we could try to capitalize on whatever timeline we had to work with to get their house sold. And obviously not the best time to try to sell a home before an election. The school year has already started, so most families, are already established in schools. The holidays are coming up. Nobody wants to move during that time. So yeah, it's been extra special and extra stressful because of that.
And that brings us to today's sponsorship, Our Home, Allen, Texas. If you want to buy it, it's a nice, beautiful 3-bedroom, 2.5 baths. I know, I wish it had more room also, and I lied. It's only a 2-bath. It's not 2.5. But we really need you to buy this. Look, it's a nice, low-maintenance yard. We just did great things.
It really is a magnificent listing. It
It
is
is.
truly
I'm proud of
breathtaking.
it.
Like the side yard,
If it
the
was-
landscaping.
If it wasn't for the timing, I have no doubt that it would have gone immediately.
Like there have been no people that have said, "Oh my God, y'all need to change this. The house doesn't have that."
It's a tough market, and it's a tough market for selling. How does that impact just you, Jermaine, as a realtor, right? Like, not to like dive too much into like the personal struggles and stuff, but like on these tough times, how do you find a way to look forward?
I really confidently believe, like when I first started real estate, my ex-husband was like, "What's your plan B?" And I was like, "I don't have one." And he was like, "Well, what if real estate doesn't work?" And I'm like, "Real estate is my calling. It's going to work. When you know it's your thing, why do I need to look out for something else?" And I've stood by that. So even when the months come that I'm struggling, it's like I know that this is my calling, that I'm going to be taken care of. The affirmation that you wrote on the wall, it's like things of that sort. And so even when things are great, I plan for, okay, when they're not so great, is it bothersome like a rock in your shoe? No, it's scary as hell. Like sometimes I'm tossing and turning at night thinking about like the stress of selling your home. It's like I need to sell this home, not only from the financial aspect of it, but I want to make sure that y'all are happy, exceeded, like your requirements are exceeded. And so those types of things bother me. So it's just I know that things will always work themselves out. And it just my friend Jeff, like we've been friends since high school. And obviously, he's one of my best friends, and we've shared so many stories. He was like, "I don't know what it is about you," but he was like, "No matter what you go through, it seems like you always come out on top. Like even from whatever, my divorce and all of that, it's just how in the heck, like it feels like everything is a win. How do you do it?"
It's that positivity and confidence.
That part.
It's so much of it. It's more than people realize, for sure. And you referenced the affirmations I wrote on the wall, and that was something really cool that our builder, whose name is Matt, by the way, what he did today was bring bottles, glass bottles, paper, and markers, and we were able to go through before they put the drywall up and leave little messages like on the bones of the house, and leave these literal messages in a bottle for somebody to find eventually. And I thought that was so cool because we each grabbed a marker and went to different rooms all over the house and left little pieces of ourselves and parts of our relationship and funny things, funny sayings. Just some of the stuff where we all kind of went in different directions at different times and in different rooms. And I loved that. I thought it was really cool. So if you buy our soon-to-be new home at some point in the far distant future, just know that there's lots of messages in the bones of the house waiting for you.
People are gonna be hacking through this house.
My favorite is, I don't think y'all saw two of mine that I wrote. Because I was going around doing the symbols in a lot of spots, and then the AMC prayer going into the media room. But in the powder room and then the primary bathroom, in the behind the toilets, I wrote little like happy poop messages. So in the powder room, it was like,
Of course you did.
Yeah, have a good poop.
Remember to flush.
And then the other one, I think it said like, may your bowels be empty and
Oh my
healthy.
gosh, I love it.
Hope you had your fiber. We've all been on a fiber kick lately, so
The whole world has been on a fiber kick, as they should be, because 90% of Americans don't get enough fiber. And today's podcast is brought to you by wood. Does it have fiber? I don't know. So yeah, some of my favorite things today were the bottles, right? I do want to message him and thank him for that, because it is something that was so easily done, and just I didn't expect it from him. You don't expect something super sentimental like that from a construction worker, and then I realized how much of a dick I was for thinking that and just stereotyping jobs like that. But yeah, it was really cool, and I can't wait for someone to one day maybe possibly see these messages, right?
And even if they don't, just knowing that they're there I think already adds so much of our personality to the home, making it feel more like a home than a house. And yeah, no, you're absolutely right. It was an extra step that he did not have to take, but made a really big difference and made the meeting itself fun. This is my fourth time building a new home, and I've never been able to do that before.
Really?
I think I'll one up that. I have in my 7 years of real estate, a builder has never done that. I've only seen buyers come through with markers to do like their favorite Bible verses to kind of bless the home, but to know that the builder brought the bottles with the markers, I thought that was y'all's idea.
Yeah, no,
I'm blown away.
No, can't take credit for it.
We'll have to recreate it though for the kiddo, and soon. Will they have drywall up on like Sunday night, Monday?
No, they said it was going to take at least 10 days.
Okay.
So we'll go out there.
That would be
maybe
so
Sunday
cool.
night when he gets back, we can take him out there and do his own messages or his own affirmations, maybe. Yeah.
Are you guys to ask me what my affirmations were?
Did you have an affirmation?
No one will tell me.
We'll get there.
Wait, what was the question?
Someone wrote no feather
The
pillows.
no feather pillows.
Oh, I wrote no feather pillows.
It's like no,
So we'll tell you the no feather pillows story here in a second.
As you're a dick. I just couldn't help myself.
But you got the award.
Yeah.
That's
That
true.
is true.
Oh, yeah, fair.
I guess, which one do we want first? The Dick Award or the No Feather Pillows?
Well, I think now we have to start with the Dick Award because, yeah, for
was
our listeners
hilarious.
that don't know.
I could be like, what? Like, no, he's not a butthole. No. Sweetest guy ever.
Depends on the day.
Paige or Will, do you want to take this story?
Earlier in February this year, we went to Loveburn in Miami, or technically the Keys, the very, very top of the Keys. Virginia Keys, I think, is where it starts. And it's a regional Burning Man. So Burning Man will have like local support. We're in different regions. I think they've got one in Texas somewhere, one in Atlanta, I think, Miami, where they do regional burns throughout the year. So we went down for, I think, like the Valentine's Day celebration. And they have the helicopter contest because they have different districts that all the camps are set up in, and more like the red
And
light
everybody is
district.
nude most of the time.
Yeah, pretty much everyone at this event is nude anyway.
Oh, God.
But then they have like the
There are costumes also. It's
Yeah,
just
there-
not
yeah,
all
yeah,
naked
yeah,
people. It's
there-
a lot of costumes.
it's a mix. But you do have different costumes for different days. So maybe you are doing a nude day. Who knows? But there's like the district that's more of the red light district.
Ooh.
And they host the helicopter contest every year. And Will was determined, and it was interesting because it wasn't a tough competition in certain ways. The last person he was battling was she was.
It was a tie. It was a tie.
She was
So it
like in
a
her 80s.
Yes.
She?
Yeah,
Yeah.
They would allow accessories too for the contest, and so it was between him and this woman who was like in her 80s. But he won. The crowd loved him the most. And then for the next couple of days, they were cheering him on. He got an official trophy.
Awards from that contest than I ever have in my acting career.
Famous in Florida.
And that's like the ultimate thing I feel like for a man to get a trophy for.
Yeah. It's a thing.
Who wants to explain what a helicopter contest is for those people listening that don't know?
I can't believe that someone wouldn't know.
Oh, I mean, the goal is to reach our audience that is here for educational purposes of understanding a life or choices that aren't theirs.
You were so
Let
right.
me please educate you.
You introduced me to a chai tea latte today. That was delicious.
I still can't believe.
I'd never had
So
one.
good.
Another.
This man is about educating.
Chai latte helicopter contest. Yep.
So, said helicopter contest is whenever you make your penis go in a circle as if it's a helicopter rotor or blade spinning in a circle, and whoever did it with the most style and gusto
I was going to say gusto too.
won. And me being the showman I took home the gold.
Knocked a hole in the roof.
For days, strangers were coming up and being like, wow, You were so impressive. I'm getting high fives. We had been telling people because we were already dating Cam by this point. And I mean, she just couldn't go because the kiddo schedule and everything for school. But so many people were like, I'm so jealous of the two of you. Like, she's not even here, and I'm so jealous. I've never met this woman, but so jealous of her.
I got like 6 numbers immediately
Yeah.
at like
Wow.
a group. Just
Lined up.
So if you're wondering how Will got 2 women, that might have
Thank you, Florida.
a little something to do with it, but certainly not all. And I do want to clarify that he wasn't just up against an 80-year-old woman. there were definitely
You should
other
say
men
that.
involved.
There was 25 people-ish.
I was a late entry. They almost didn't let me compete. But there was 22 with myself involved. And while there were a plethora of men and women that competed, I will say Joyce, the 80-year-old woman, her 2-foot-long strap-on purple dick was hard to compete against.
I don't think I
she
ever
had
heard about this.
She had like a crowd favorite look. Like,
Yeah, I thought she was gonna win.
win.
Yeah.
I thought she deserved to win.
I thought you were going to say her 2 feet long breasts. I was like, oh my God.
There's your white man privilege coming into play again.
I was like, oh my God. How do you compete with breasts that long? Wow.
But so the funniest thing is my dad was a helicopter pilot in the Air Force. And they're down this past May for my graduation. And my dad is the kind of person that when he's in a space, he'll walk around and he looks at every item you have in your wall. Like, it's there for a reason. So he wants to explore and learn someone through their items. And he's looking at our fireplace mantle at the
That's where it
award.
was.
And you could just see him kind of like chuckle a little bit and not really say much else and just continue looking at the wall.
He must have got this for his birthday. Oh gosh, that was one of the things. He's like, "Do we need to take this down when we're listing the house?" I'm like, "I think that probably should go down."
Probably.
I may have phrased it like that, but I knew we would have to take it out. I am proud of it, though.
I'm proud, man.
You just wanted a bunch of strangers to know who lived there.
Like, why did you put this headshot next to the trophy? Well, I'll be like, well, they need
So
to
they
know
know.
who, yeah,
Full
like,
package.
Who it
they
belongs
need to
to.
know, you know.
Screaming.
No, what's really funny is in my cube at work, I do have a trophy, and it says most likely to be busted naked on a Tuesday streaking, and it's in my cube.
The
Paige
award.
loves to streak.
It's a real freeing experience.
Have you ever been streaking,
Yeah.
Jermaine?
Have I been to what? I'm sorry.
Streaking?
That's when you
Do you know
like
what
flash people or you're naked, right?
Yeah, it's
Well,
where
no,
you like
you're
strip
already
down.
Run
naked.
through
No.
An area.
something.
It's. I feel like when you
Public space.
individually target people and flash them, that's a sexual assault crime. When you're streaking, it's a poorly planned joke or tradition usually. But so we're at the where Paige went to school. They had a tradition.
That's one of their biggest traditions is streaking. So they call it the lawn, the main part of their campus that starts at the rotunda and goes all the way down to this other building. And that's what you do at night is you go streaking.
Wow.
And the most honored, educated people with the highest GPAs get the rooms on the lawn, and they'll buy giant spotlights and they'll spotlight you the whole time. They'll throw snowballs at you in the winter. It's a long stretch though. The full thing is probably half a mile to do.
So are you running and
Half a
being
mile?
silly, or just walking?
You leave your. Oh no, you're running. So and
You start running. You start. It's
'cause
funny. You start running.
for orientation with the parents. Like my mom had to go to orientation my freshman year, and she said that they tell you, like the administration says, hey, they're gonna streak. The difference between indecent exposure and shrieking is your pace. So make sure your kids know, pick up the pace, and then they'll be fine. But if they're just strolling through, no, that's not okay. And so
I think she was going too slow.
that was the only time I've really run in life, is every time I streaked. And halfway through, you'd be like, oh, I really need to take up running. This is really difficult. And you end up with some shin splints every time, like no doubt. But yeah, so you have to start on the rotunda steps. It's huge. And it was the
I think that's
first-
intentional.
Yeah, right. But that's where you take your clothes off, is on the top of the steps, and then you have to run all the way down for about a quarter mile. And there's a I think it's Aristotle is where the statue is. And you run around it 3 times, and you have to run all the way back and then go up the rotunda steps and whisper in the keyhole, "Good morning, Mr. Jefferson," because Thomas Jefferson's the one that founded the school. So, and that's the full, well, that's the traditional streaking path. They have one where you go through an elevator in a library to get down to the other portion of the lawn, and you're doing the whole thing naked.
So it's one person individually, or is it a
Depends.
group of people? And it's like, all right, girl, your turn.
Both. Yeah, sometimes it'll be one after the other. Sometimes you'll have 30 people doing it at once. Yeah, it's really cool.
That would be fun.
Oh, so are you game to try this?
When I get in shape.
Have you? Shut up. You look great.
I know what I look like with clothes off. I can wear
Same
an outfit.
Same.
I'm like, go home, I can stop holding my stomach in.
No, but have you ever been to like a nude beach or a nude resort or a nude spa?
Like completely fascinated by them and would want to do it, but I wouldn't want to do it by myself. It was like my ex-husband, very conservative, so no. And that's something that you'd want to explore with someone that you're like, all right, we're in a committed relationship. Let's share this experience together.
So
Shit.
I experienced that with my cousin.
That would be, yes, I can see that with someone close. Not like a brother, sister, because it could be kind of weird, but a cousin.
Yeah. And
Wait, hold on. That's such a fucking Texas response
God.
of like, it's okay if you experience that with your cousin. You just don't want to do it with like a brother and a sister.
That's where I draw the line.
Yeah. So technically, we're not actually related by blood.
There you
She
go.
is my,
That's what they always say.
my half-step niece, but
my
she's
God.
a little older.
This is like Game of Thrones. A half-step niece.
Mildly related by marriage.
You know
Anyway,
it's okay because you're only my step cousin.
well, we were in Croatia and we had gone to the spa, and then we heard that we had just gotten massages, and we had heard that they had wonderful saunas and a pool outside, and we're like, okay, cool, let's go check out the saunas and the steam rooms and all that. We get to that part of the spa where all of this is housed, and they're like, you are now entering. They called it the Black Emotion Spa.
The zone.
I don't know what that was supposed to mean, but it said there was a sign, a very prominent sign that said clothing and bathing suits are not permitted. You must be nude. So it was not an option. If you wanted to use this part of the spa, you had to be naked. And so we just kind of looked at each other and we're like, are we doing this? This is our first time traveling together. We hadn't spent that much time physically together. She lives in New York, and
Because she's only a kind of cousin.
and we just look at each other and we're like, yeah, let's do it.
I love it.
The first few minutes, we're looking around. Everybody's about 5% creepy. Everyone kind of takes their initial look and then they go back to their own business. You're in Europe. It's much nicer. I think in the U.S. it would be just full on creepy to a certain extent. But yeah, we start laying out and we go in and check. So first of all, the saunas that we went to, nobody else was in. So we didn't encounter anyone, and that was fine and great. We go out to the pool, and there was an outdoor sauna that was kind of underground there. And that's where everybody was. They were all laying out. And
Action packed.
that was I never felt so free. I was like, oh my gosh, this is so different and so amazing.
How old were you?
This was it was in 2022. Yeah, it was 22, or 2022.
Wait, this was
Recent. Yeah, relatively. Post-divorce, for sure. But yeah, it was incredible. And from that moment on, I was like, I want to do this all the time.
all the time.
And then we had these Afghas sauna rituals that were also naked in there with both men and women in the sauna, and you get fanned by this hot towel, creating like hot air flowing at you.
Intentional.
Yes, and it just singes your body.
Oh,
It is
okay.
so hot.
Actually, that sounds nice.
Yeah, you would like it. It
Yeah.
was very scalding. And you think that you are going to die and pass out. And
Is that how the hot water temperature came up in the bathroom?
Yes, I love.
Are you serious? That's
I
how
like
it came
a
up?
scalding.
yeah, I can't
Shower.
tolerate how hot she
Yeah.
likes the showers.
That's great.
So they take this hot towel and they
They fan you with it, and then they have like a half moon paper fan. Also, they bring like a trough full of snowballs in, and they put it on the grates, and the snowballs have been soaked in essential oils. And so the place fills up with this wonderful scent. They're playing this kind of tribalistic music, and then they are fanning this hot air at you. And there's an office master in there who's the only one who has like a loincloth on. And we felt like we were going to die. And there were many people who did not last the whole like ritual.
It's like Texas in the summertime.
Right. But you get out, and then you go to these communal showers, you rinse off, and then you go into the cold pool. It's not like a ice plunge or anything, but it's a
Going from the
noticeably
extreme
much colder
heat.
pool.
Wow.
And then it is the most euphoric feeling I have ever experienced. A very natural high relaxation where you are just floating for about 30, 45 minutes. And so from that moment on, we're like, oh, we need to go to this. They offer it every 2 hours, every day. We're coming back here. This is all we're doing moving forward, because it was that good. And it was funny because we didn't even know about it until I was laying out, enjoying being nude in the sun. And I see everybody get up at like 4 o'clock and start making their way into this underground sauna. I was like, man, is there an orgy I didn't get invited to? What's going on?
No orgy, just to be clear. Like,
Yeah.
because some of the people that are listening might think sex. There's
just
debauchery
going in-
everywhere
yeah.
because they're naked. No,
It was
that's
not
how it
at
is.
all. Yeah. Again, nothing creepy about it. People didn't make me feel at all uncomfortable. And at one point,
I would
the
be
second
offended.
time I went in, I sat up higher in the sauna where it was hotter. And I, at one point, had to go crisscross applesauce. And you have the one towel that you have, you're sitting on, but you can't cover up. No one is covered up with anything. And so I'm just splayed eagle, but just going with it. And it was so liberating. And it made me realize how repressed so many Americans are, that we have this fear of sexualization of the body in all of our media that is so pervasive in our advertising and movies and all of that. And it's so restricted so that people have to think that it's taboo and that it's wrong and that it's inappropriate, right? Whereas in Europe, they're much more sex forward, much more body positive, much more just, this is what the human form looks like, and we're going to appreciate it. I mean, there's naked statues everywhere in Europe, right? So they can't really get rid of that. So everyone has grown up just being able to appreciate the naked form without sexualizing it or making it inappropriate. And so it's just a very different experience. And that really flipped a switch for me, where I was like, oh, this is incredible.
I love it.
I want this.
Now, what prompted you to your cousin?
I wanted to get over to Europe, and that was before I had started doing any solo travel yet, I think. No, it might have been after my first solo trip. But I had wanted to go over to Europe, and Croatia had been high up on my list, and she was wanting to travel, so we pulled the plug on it.
like,
real
girl, let's
quick,
do it.
And we had a great time. I highly recommend Croatia, but that's a story for a
The
different
lady
podcast.
has spoken.
I just want to point out how much I love that you at least had the curiosity to go see if it was an orgy.
Right? Yeah, and because I was mildly offended that I didn't get the memo.
Why are all these
right?
people leaving since I'm
All
here?
these people know what's going on. Am I not good enough to join this secret society that you guys clearly have, that everyone knows about? But after doing it the first time, I was like, this is why everybody is getting up to do this right on the dot. Nobody misses it because it is that good of an experience.
The question I have is, okay, you mentioned you went from sitting a certain way to crisscross applesauce. Was it because of the heat? Were you sitting in a certain way because you didn't want to overexpose? Like, what was, I don't understand like that part.
So the early
You
phases,
mentioned it, so I was like, huh? Why would that be important to say?
Yeah, the early phases of it, I was self-conscious and like trying to keep my
You
legs
were a lady.
crossed. I was trying to be a lady, yes.
Then you're like, I'm a woman.
And right? And I wasn't sure. What actually made it even more interesting and odd is that the day before, when we had our massages, the office master that had was performing this ritual, he was actually my masseur that day. So this man had just had his hands all over me, but hadn't like seen the goods. And then here I am. Here's the goods, but now you can't touch me. So it was a little awkward making eye contact then, but also empowering. So that was something that I just kind of combated. I was like, I'm never going to see this person again. It doesn't make a difference. I need to cool off, because having your legs crossed in I don't know how hot that sauna was, but I really enjoy exceedingly hot saunas. Not so much hot showers, but hot saunas I love. And this was the hottest sauna I had ever been in my life. And so, yeah, sitting cross-legged, it just got to be too hot. I thought I was going to pass out.
My
and so
thighs are sticking together.
needed to kind of like, open things up a little bit, allow for some sort of so, yeah, I had to go crisscross applesauce, which did help. But, yeah, that hot air getting fanned onto your body, it really is like getting kissed by flames. It's so hot.
Ooh, that sounds perfect.
What was y'all's, not to change the subject, but what was your biggest fear? And I just thought of this when you all were starting to shop for your home. Like
The price. But you know what? We all have to face our fears, apparently.
but price versus value. Oh,
And
It's
I've
such an
I've
amazing
very
home.
much lived my life, and I don't really seek out a lot of opportunity. So when an opportunity is presented to me without much effort on my part, if I'm prepared enough for it, okay, that's clearly the smart choice to do.
tell me more. What do you mean opportunity?
You know, seeking out a new job,
Gotcha.
or deciding where you move next.
So
Big
are you
life
saying
changes?
Are you thinking that like since the floor plan that you desired and the lot that you
Yeah.
were looking for and the bells and whistles that could be accommodated?
Compared to a not so great layout at
Yeah.
an only slightly more affordable price. Yeah, it was too much of a no-brainer where it's been very much, no, we'll make it work because
Really?
it's too good of an opportunity to pass up.
It's also important to note that we were actually pretty limited in terms of where we could look, because it was really important to us that the kiddo was able to stay in his existing school district and be able to stay at the schools that he was slated to go to so that he could be with his friends growing up for as long as we are in this area. So, and I obviously wanted to stay close to my parents who are, elderly, and I want to be close by to them. So we didn't have a ton of options to be able to get creative with our space and our needs and be able to fit the price that, we were hoping for originally. So to go a little bit above that and get so much more, and to get it almost exactly how we could have drawn it up, that would ideally work for a 3-person adult dynamic, that's, I think, what really made it a no-brainer and took a little bit of the fear out of the sticker price.
Yeah, that's
What
true.
are your thoughts, Will?
I'm terrified.
On a daily basis.
Yeah, there's so many things. I mean, just dodged a huge bullet of a woman president. I mean, oh man, that was my number one fear. Just like any other cis white man out there, I was just like, oh, woman can control. No, no.
I think we need to clarify just
That I'm being sarcastic. Yes. No, I have no fears. In the
love that.
sense of, I have chosen 2 very intelligent and level-headed and amazingly passionate and loving and beautiful women.
They choose you right back.
And I trust their choices, right? So from the very beginning of Paige and I's relationship, I have really had control of the finances. She went to school for it. She did really, really good in school for it. I was a Marine. My math for Marines, literally, they teach you math for Marines because we're all too dumb. And they're like, hey, let's make sure that you can add properly so that we can give you this gun, which is a lot more than most places do in America to give you a gun.
The gun already has 6 bullets. Needs
that's
12.
That's why it didn't fit. Exactly. So, but yeah, exactly. Like,
How much extra ammo should you pack?
Yeah, if you shoot 3 men, how many bullets do you have left? Yeah, that kind of stuff, right? So I learned very early on that it was advantageous for myself that Paige was in control of the finances, because not only is she good at it, but I trust her more than anything, and I trust Cam more than anything, and
They're a great duo. Y'all are an amazing trio. Y'all really are.
we balance each other out so well. And there's times, don't get me wrong, there's times where we butt heads. We butted heads this
lot.
morning. Like, there's times when life and stress of a new home build and not being able to sell our old home, it becomes a lot. And if we don't know how to communicate it properly in the moment, it can build up. But again, I'm not afraid, because we do communicate. We do talk about the things that bother us, or the things that we're afraid of, and the things that we're struggling with. And we have those hard conversations to call each other out about it. And I got told recently, yeah, maybe you need to start paying attention to why you are taking that kind of offense to it, because it sounds like that's coming from internally. And I'm like, yep, you're right. And so it's that kind of realness, right? And that kind of love, because it takes real deep, strong love to be able to confront and say something like that to a person that you do care about.
Yeah.
Because it's scary. And I know that they always will have that love and my best interest in heart. And I also know that we are so far into it that there's no turning around.
There's no turning around.
Well, because we care about each other so much, I can say his actual real concern is getting clients to drive out this far to utilize the studio space.
I'm going to actually correct that, because while that was a real concern at one point, my concern now is that I'm going to get a really good job with my new degree, and I'm not even going to be a photographer in like 2 years, and we're going to have a really dope podcast studio.
That's
Ooh,
right.
Hey, you know what? If that's what happens, that's a great concern.
Yeah.
And y'all skirted over the no feather pillows. Just want to let you know.
We'll circle
we can
back
come
around.
back.
I don't
let's-
forget
Yeah.
anything.
Let's talk about no feather pillows.
You got to say it like you mean it.
There's actually a very specific way that you say it.
No feather pillows. Let's talk about it.
So, no feather pillows comes from our Chilean trip, where we had just gotten to our hotel in Santiago for our first night, and I had requested, I'm allergic to feathers.
Same.
Yes, we are both allergic to feathers.
They
And
like Hungarian goose down.
yeah.
No feathers.
I had pre-requested that we have, the foam pillows for the room.
Screaming right now.
We get in there and there's feather pillows, and we
I
didn't.
ordered goat cheese. This is clearly blue cheese.
And
need to
then
speak
this
to
is
the
shredded
owner.
cheese. Oh my gosh. Okay, that's a story from our lunch from earlier today. So yeah, we didn't really notice this until we were in bed, and we, were already
It's like a
getting intimate.
honeymoon, you know?
Yeah, it was a honeymoon. It's our first trip together. It's our first night in this new country. that
We were banging.
exploring. Yeah. Yes, we were. And we realized that it is their feather pillows. And so Will needed to get some water anyway. He had to hydrate.
Hydrate, stretch, grab a Gatorade.
I got Charlie horse. Ouch.
So he calls the front desk and he's like, "Hi, can we get 3 no feather pillows?" And, you were on the phone.
Yeah, and so look, Santiago, Chile, they speak a version of Spanish.
But it's not Spanish.
Not what we've been
Or
taught.
Portuguese even.
It's not
as
like
Spanish.
Mexico Spanish. It's not like the Spanish, like you said, that we have here in America.
It's not even Spanglish.
No.
Yeah, like I'm like being like no polo feather. I'm horrible at any other language, and I'm horrible at English. But I'm on the phone, and I'm like, yeah. So we need 3 pillows that don't have feathers. We have an allergy. And she's like, excuse me? And I was like, yeah, we just need, 3 pillows for the room, for the bed that don't have feathers. And she was like, I'm not understanding. And I was like, all right, we need 3 no feather pillows. And she's like, oh, no feather pillows, no feather pillows. And sorry for my horrible
She has the translator next to the phone.
Yeah. And so she, no feather pillows?
Yeah, it was so loud we could hear it in the room, and just the level of her voice. No feather pillows. It was the funniest thing.
3 no feather pillows.
Here, let's see if I can recreate it.
No feather pillows?
Right? Yeah.
He's just saying back, yes, no feather pillows. And it's going back and forth for a couple rounds.
And I'm like,
And then she's like,
"See."
what are no feather pillows? What are no feather
And then apparently they come up to the room and they knock, but don't hear them. So then they call back and they're like, 3 no feather pillows. And I'm like, yeah. And then they're like, yeah, we're here. I was like, okay. And then I opened the door and they're like, 3 no feather pillows? And I was like, man, we're the no. You know what, though? That's better than what I started out with. So I'd rather be the no feather pillow guy other than,
The pillow guy.
no, Mr. Yeah, I often, so anytime, for those that know, Cameron's divorced, and every time we travel and she books a hotel, I am immediately the husband that's Mr. And it is like, okay, whatever, man. I was like, great, at least they don't know who I truly am. And then I can be a complete asshole at any restaurant and get away with it. It's great.
Yeah, because while I use my maiden name for some things, I wanted to keep my married name so that my son and I had the same last name, at least for the time being. So
That's so
Yeah.
beautiful. What is so crazy about that? Paige and I were talking earlier about the sacrifices that parents make. And it was kind of like one of the things that we had talked about for one of your upcoming podcasts about the changes and the things that, not really changes, but the things that you really took into consideration, or how moms put themselves last ultimately. And my mom shared the same thing that you just did. She was like, I didn't want to change my last name back to my maiden name because we're Alfreds together. I didn't want you to feel like that I am no longer your mother.
Yeah.
Didn't
Yeah.
want to make it any difference. Beautiful.
And I asked him about it too, whether he wanted to stay, keep his last name, or if he wanted to change to my last name. And ultimately, he wanted to stay a and so I stayed a
That is so beautiful.
So,
I
yeah.
still think that it's absolutely, I should have known, respectfully, when you started talking about the no feather pillows. I thought it was going to be one of these two. I didn't know it was going to be you. And then when you started talking, and then when you said we asked for no feather pillows, I automatically was like, say no more. Say no more.
The best part about it is when they're delivering feather pillows. Will answers the door.
He had to put on
and
a robe.
He had to put on a robe. And it was funny because we weren't that quiet. And so whoever's delivering the pillows can hear what's going on, but see that Will is standing in front of him. And then look down. Oh, 3 pillows. Oh, and that's our favorite part is when we travel or when we're just around people enough where they don't know at first, like people who work at places we're staying at. And then by the first, second, third day, their knowledge is starting to build to what it really is.
Yeah.
They're like,
It's
I
so
want
funny.
that.
Yeah, seeing those light bulbs go off is fantastic.
We say it all the time, but it's one of our favorite things.
And now we have a podcast and so many other things that we can direct them to learn more about it, so they can hear us talk about them in the future.
So for hotels, since you mentioned it, traveling, when you do get a suite, a room, normally they'll say that there's 2 people for this room. Do they charge extra for a third, or how does that work? What? Why was that funny?
Well, just because sometimes it depends. So sometimes we might put in that it's for 2 adults because we know that we
Say
don't need
less.
the extra space. Whereas a lot of times if you put in 3 adults in one room, they will only show you the room options that have
2
beds.
queen size beds.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So we will finagle that sometimes.
Depending
Sometimes we'll
on-
show up and we're like, oh yeah, there's 3 of us. we're always willing to pay, for that third person, but a lot of times it might come with, for example, if I book it through Amex and I get my little perks and stuff through the portal, I might get breakfast for 2 included, but we never get it for 3.
I don't know what you're gonna eat.
Yeah. So
Somebody's gonna be
or we
hungry.
buy a third one. But yeah, we generally price out both options, putting it for 2 people or putting it for 3, just to see if the rooms that we're getting shown are vastly different.
But yeah, to answer your question, whenever we go to hotels and stuff and they do realize that it is 3 of us, they always just want to bring one of those stupid rollaway beds. And I was like, also, what if I was trying to make this thing happen and it wasn't a thing that happened? And I'm like, oh, they didn't have any other options. And I'm like, come on, bro, help me out. Like, you're really ruining this for me right now.
I will say, at first, it's just not on anyone's radar.
Yeah.
They just
It's the last
don't.
thing they expect.
Yeah, I guess so.
It's not what people immediately jump to.
I have to admit, circling back to when I was asking about what was your biggest, I guess you could say, fear when you were house shopping, I really thought it was going to be not some of the we talked about normal, so I'm not going to say that word, but more of the traditional stresses about finances and making sure that the home has, that the home meets the majority of your needs. I really thought it was going to be of some of the societal scenarios that people come up with in their mind about who are these people, and you're thinking, oh my gosh, we wouldn't want to have someone feel that way about us or look at us in a different type of light. And so that was one of our biggest fears. So I am so proud, seriously, that none of that really came up when you were like, you know what, let's do this. Let's take it to the next level, because it's already official. Let's take it to the next level and just do it. And it is so beautiful, and just my heart just overflows with love for you guys. It's so beautiful, so magical.
I love that. But going back to what you had said earlier about, your coming out story and kind of how we project ourselves as well, it all goes back to if we internalize those fears and live them, we will see them realized in the world, right? We will see them at every turn if that is what we are focused on being afraid of. So when you are confident and happy and comfortable in your truth and willing to unapologetically live it, not necessarily being in anybody's face about it that might have a hard time accepting it or understanding it. We're not trying to be abrasive to anybody by any means, but we are just also, we don't want to project that fear and give somebody reason to fear who we are or what's going on with us. If we treat it as normal and we put that positivity and confidence out into the world that, no, this is beautiful, then people will see it as beautiful. And that's been our experience by and large, at least with how people have presented to us, is that they present far more accepting than I think any of us ever thought that they would.
It's almost like finally someone has said it,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
it's like, oh, I've been wanting to experience a life that's different. Finally, this is something that I've been wanting to experience and get to know people that are comfortable being authentically themselves. It's like I know people that I know they have a whole another relationship that they're involved with and are scared to death. And I'm like, your children are still, because me and the children have discussed it, and they're like, we know, but they won't say anything.
Yeah, I can't.
And I'm like, why don't y'all just say something? They're like, because it doesn't exist. Yes, it does. We're not blind.
Yeah. Nobody's blind.
Yeah, we know.
And, we found that early on in our process where we were still kind of identifying exactly what this was and what it meant and how we were going to share it with the world. But we realized very early on that trying to keep a lid on it for any of us, particularly around any of our loved ones or friends, was so hard because the love was so big. It was just shooting out of us like giant rainbows. And so we
On a rainy day.
yeah, we needed to shout it from the rooftop. So it almost never occurred to us to keep it under wraps, because the little bit of time that we tried to keep it under wraps, it felt like we were lying to ourselves and to everyone around us. And none of us are comfortable with lies. We all have a deep appreciation and dedication to honesty. And that's how we try to live. But yeah, being able to project that, I think, has helped others be able to receive it. And it's really been very validating for our entire relationship and for how we approach our love.
I really think in addition to that, it's going to be extremely powerful for the people that you have shared your life with and the people that look up to you for guidance and support and acceptance and things of that sort. I think that your vulnerability to be able to say, this is my authentic self, look how comfortable and free I am being me. Mm-hmm. You know, individually as individuals, but collectively as a throuple. It gives people the permission to, I don't have to be what people think of me. I don't have to do how you were talking about earlier, we were talking about normalcy and what's normal and what's regular. You can be your authentic self and people will accept you.
They really will. And I can't tell you how many times I have received messages to various social media accounts with people just saying, hey, and these are people I haven't talked to in years, people from high school, people from all different kinds of backgrounds, saying, hey, I just wanted to reach out and say that I think it is fantastic that you are living your most authentic life so freely and openly, and I want you to know how inspiring I find it, and that it's given me the confidence and the nerve to be able to be more open about it. I've had a lot of women reach out to me about their own sexuality and how they have kept it under wraps for
like, girl, why did you say something before now? Why was I the last to know?
But that part has been really, really wonderful. And I think that really fed into why so many of us wanted to do this podcast, is so that people can see that you don't have to live by these societal norms if they don't fit you. You know, of course, if they do fit you, great, more power to you.
Take advantage of the system.
Take advantage of the system, for sure. Yeah. If that is not who you are, you don't have to do that. And you can find freedom and happiness and joy in being who you are. And I love hearing these stories, you know, just all across America with people, you know, sharing their own, either a coming out story or their own transitioning story, and coming into the skin that they finally feel comfortable in, or being open about what they feel most comfortable with. And knowing that that is met now with at least more acceptance than it used to be.
And I just want to point out, all across the world, because we are worldwide, we have listeners from every continent.
We do, yeah. So that's exciting.
But yeah, I do view it as a moral responsibility, actually, to do. And to take advantage of the fact that we're typically accepted as normal individuals, being professionals, productive members of society. You know, we have relationships and friends, employers. Being pretty absolutely helps. I mean, everyone knows statistically that does help you just be successful in general, more accepted in general. So leading that effort does make it, you know, a bit easier. But just in general, it just feels like, all right, well, now we've got to help normalize this as much as we possibly can. Now that we've seen that this can work and the benefits of it, we do want to share that. And it's been really interesting to hear people who've come back with feedback of saying, oh yeah, like I actually have had a kind of relationship similar to this for this long now. Or wow, my current relationship is very similar to what you guys are talking about. And we've just never been able to feel like we could be public about it. And it's crazy how many people are living not their fullest lives because society's got our blinders on still.
I think there's going to be a market where instead of your king size bed, that there's going to be one a little bit bigger to accommodate more people as something that's the hottest trend. Not really a trend, but the hottest thing that the market has been needing for so long. I think that's probably something that it already exists.
Right.
The fourth wheel mattress brought to you by Serta.
Oh my God, trademark
Sleep
it
sound with your.
Perfect.
Yeah, because 6 more inches would be nice.
Yeah.
Just 6 more
That's what she said.
6 more inches is always nice.
Sure, it has 2 feet. But one of the other questions, not real estate related, is the company Christmas party. And you get to bring.
We don't do one.
But
They
we
have
did
never
go
done
to
one.
a company.
Yeah,
Wow.
so we
recently.
do.
How does that work? When they say you could bring one person. Oh, is that what it said?
So
Ask
weddings,
for forgiveness
weddings
versus
is going
permission.
to be the big thing, I think. And we have been invited to one wedding for my friend Julia, who's having hers next year in Charlottesville. So they'll get
Another
to see my
Charlotte.
streak. It's going to be great. I'm so excited. But that one, we've already got the invite for all 3 of us. And that
Awesome.
was super nice.
How beautiful.
Just to see that gesture of when you typed in my name on the website and all 3 of us popped up. And
Yes.
It wasn't anything that we had to be like, hey, by the way, can we bring someone else? It was, Cam was immediately included, and that was one of the best feelings.
Yeah. Thank you, Julia.
Yeah, so seeing that going forward, I think will be super helpful.
I
This
love
might
it.
be the first year we do Christmas cards. 'Cause can't resist this now.
Right? Wow.
Oh, we gotta take those soon.
Yeah, we do.
Have you ever seen our past Christmas cards?
Wait, passed.
Well, we haven't really done Christmas cards. Will and I should say, have not done Christmas cards before because
We've done Halloween cards.
You said because it annoys mom?
Yeah, my mom loves Christmas cards, and she hates that we've never done one.
But I want to clarify that, Jill, we have never done this out of spite. I grew up poor. We didn't afford cards. We couldn't afford cards. This is between us. It's fine. You're getting a card this year. That's for you, Jill. Yeah, so we did do like friend / group photos for a while that were themed. And so every single year we would do a different theme. Like one year we did like a 90s denim theme. One year we did like a apocalypse Christmas
I
theme.
love it.
This year I think the theme for the Christmas cards should be realtor because of us buying the house and everything like that. But we went thrift store shopping and I found
I am screaming
these.
already.
I was not part of this.
No,
This
she
was
was not.
years ago.
This was years ago,
Yeah.
but we have enough for everyone. It's perfect.
Yeah.
But we found these old, like bright blue suit jackets from like a public university's marching band. And so we have all of these different sizes. And I was like, with the intention of doing a realtor style shoot one day. And now it just fits perfectly. So we're going to do like a family realtor. We'll use the sold sign from the old house as a prop.
But the jackets have to have these massive shoulder pads. That would
Oh,
be
they do.
I think
just
they
epic.
do, yeah.
Oh, they're
I
ridiculous.
will add them in if they don't.
Yeah.
You gotta do what?
I'm going to add them if they don't. 'cause
We should
I
just
love shoulder pads.
Just really
I
intense
want
ones.
shoulder pads, not ironically, in all of my blazers.
I want them in my t-shirts.
Yeah, they look amazing. Kate Middleton, if she still exists, has shoulder pads in literally everything she wears.
It's like a Dixie Carter.
So we've touched base a few times here and alluded to your coming out story, Jermaine.
Oh, wow.
Do you mind sharing that at all? Like you said, it was unique, and I do want to make sure that we don't blue ball our listeners a little bit since we have mentioned it multiple times.
Yeah.
I actually
to you.
think I brought it up.
Yeah, and I didn't want
Well,
to
you said it was
say that,
it was
but-
good and
It
that your
was
family.
amazing. And mind you, I mean, what you can't see, audibly, I think that's the word. Like I'm a black male and I'm very light skinned and I grew up in a small country town. So that'll kind of give you some framework. And I've known I was different from the time that I could really figure things out. Like as a toddler, you're learning and evolving and growing. But then when I was about 5 or 6, when I was about 5 or 6, I knew that I was different. I didn't know what different was. I just felt different. Like I just had more of a when little girls would say, oh, yeah, James is cute, I would be like, oh, yeah, he is kind of cute. But I never knew that whatever. But then as I got a little bit older and I would get called names, I was like, well, I don't like those names. Those are very derogatory. But I knew that it had something to do with me having that I think James is cute scenario. But then once I got old enough to realize what gay was, I was like, oh my gosh, I'm that. And then, of course, there were scenarios in which I was like, well, I don't want to be that. So I did everything imaginable. I had the girlfriends and did all the things to kind of butch it up my whole life. And it was very, very scary and very traumatizing. And I did some things that are not very healthy mentally because I'm like, I want to have the acceptance of God, but also my family. And I'm like, I can't. It just felt like this is something that's not for me. But anyway, once I got comfortable being myself and I slowly started coming out to my friends, there was this one year, and I'm epic for, like, I would write my mom her own personalized Mother's Day cards and personalized Christmas cards to
You're
just
saying
share.
the signs were there.
Yes, very creative. 100%. But there was this one year I could not, and it was when I was 17, and I could not figure out what to say to my mom on a card. I couldn't figure out what to buy her. It was just one year that I had a block. I just could not figure it out. And did I say it was Mother's Day? Did I say that part?
Yes,
It was
yes.
Mother's Day, and I couldn't figure out what to get her for a gift. And I was like, I'm going to tell her I'm gay. And in the state of Texas, well, this is in the 90s, your parents couldn't put you out when you were 17, but they couldn't make you stay. And so I knew if I told my mom and things got absolutely horrible, I could leave. Mind you, I've been working since I was 16, started at McDonald's. So I had a little bit of money. I had play money, but I could figure it out. But I knew that if things got so bad, I could leave if I had to. And I sat her down that morning and I was like, Mom, I got to give you a Mother's Day gift. And she's like, ooh, I'm so excited. What is it? Where is it? And I was like, it's nothing you can see, nothing you can smell, nothing you can touch. It's nothing tangible. And she was like, boy, stop playing with me. We got to go to church. Hurry up. Give me my gift. And I was like, sit down. I need to talk to you. I don't know if we're going to make it to church this Sunday. And so she sat down and then she did this nervous scratch. She did the nervous scratch. And she was like, what's going on? And she could tell it was serious. And I was like, I'm gay. And she was like, wait, what? And then we went through that whole process of she's wanting to make sure that she heard me correctly. And she's like, but you had girlfriends. And she's like, I didn't raise you to be gay. Was it something I did? I'm like, no. I was like, I've been gay my whole life. It's like, obviously, it's not the life that I chose, no more than I chose being light-skinned, and no more than I chose to be black. It's just the way that I am. Long story short, she shared it with her sisters, of course. Obviously, is what we do. We talk to our siblings and things of that sort. But my entire family was just so accepting and loving and just embraced me with open arms.
That's
like
awesome.
I have never felt, and this is my whole life for the most part. I think it really goes back to what we were talking about earlier, your authenticity with yourself and how comfortable you are with yourself. And it was just a beautiful thing because not a lot of people, especially the black community, where you can go to I'm not raised in I don't know if we can say sissy or whatever. No, that's not my house. I did not receive any of that. I'm truly blessed.
That's amazing.
I really wouldn't want to trade that for anything because, well, I probably would, but from when I think of a trade, you hear the horror stories, and I'm so lucky, I'm so blessed, so thankful. But yeah, so needless to say, we didn't make it to church that Sunday. But yeah, she's a queen. She's awesome. Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Actually, I don't know if you two know this even. My oldest sister came out to me on my 21st birthday.
Oh.
Happy birthday.
Yeah, right? That's kind of how she did it. I was in
Yeah.
Where's my gift for real?
Yeah, right? I was in Tokyo at the time, and she calls me, and she's like, yeah, I've been covering stuff up for a long time, and I thought, and she came out to me, and I was like, oh, cool. And this either really early in the morning, really late at night because of the time difference. And I was like, oh, cool. And she was like, are you like, kind of like what we did with our coming out of like, we're in a throuple. She was like, cool. So like, what's your thoughts and stuff like that? And I was like, you know, I kind of felt like I've always known, like I went to your softball games. And like, I was not shocked. Like, and like, sorry, sis, I love you. But like, the signs were there. Like,
It's like you drove trucks for the UPS. I get it.
And
She doesn't drive for UPS, does she?
No.
I wish.
That's so funny.
Man, they get paid so well. Like, I think they just bumped up to like 120,000 with like full benefits. You don't dog on UPS, and you get to
wasn't at
wear
all.
shorts.
I wish they do something about that brown, though. It's like, ugh.
No, you just gotta own it, man.
Gosh. Oof.
I am so happy that you had such a wonderful experience, because I know that even some of our listeners have not had that experience. And for those listeners that have experienced something traumatic because of who you are and someone that you love not being able to accept you, we're sorry. And not everyone's like that, obviously. Like, we're sitting here and we're saying that we're accepting you, and that thank you for accepting us, all of us. And you should be accepted.
And just because somebody is not able to accept you for who you are doesn't mean there's anything wrong with who you are, or that you shouldn't accept yourself for who you are.
Because one day you too may be in a throuple buying a house and stress over how fastly it's getting built. Because life will always give you what you need, and sometimes it's just really hard to get there.
With only 2.
Yeah,
Sometimes you need 3.
3 makes it a lot easier.
No, wait. I have another story that Jermaine doesn't know about. First, I want to start off with a question. Were you aware that our lot caught on fire before they started construction?
I found out today.
Today?
Y'all are
Okay.
telling me. Somebody brought it up about
I brought it up at the house.
The
I didn't-
Oh,
neighbor.
you spoiler.
I didn't realize it was. I hadn't seen the script yet. Well, the like outline for the episode. But yeah, I want to hear the thoughts.
It was. This is not me throwing someone under the bus, but since it wasn't actually the structure, it's almost like, because from my understanding, it was part of the fence for the backyard, and the house wasn't even there.
It was the whole lot was scorched. I have pictures.
It almost looks like it was an intentional burn. It wasn't.
Yeah, it was like a little like grass fire, like the whole lot caught on
So
fire.
fire trucks were there, and
Yeah.
Fire trucks and everything.
There was only like 2 guys apparently who were on the lot. I don't think that they were even working on the lot. I think they were working at one of the catty corner ones. And
I see smoke.
Said she heard them tapping on her door furiously, and they're like, water, fire, like, what do we do? And they pulled out a hose from somewhere or something. I don't know.
I think they used a garden hose or something.
But yeah, it was like the entire lot was on fire, and the wind was starting to blow it in different directions.
Is this California?
It looks a lot like it.
Wow, they say the same wind that blows out a candle can start a fire.
So who knows if it really was just construction equipment that might have caused it, or I don't know. We have bad luck with fires, so that made me very nervous.
You know what? We got it done with. It's over.
Done and over with.
The one and done.
Yep.
You know?
Wow.
And they didn't tell us at all.
And this is in August after
So
we're
we're definitely under contract already.
Yeah, they didn't even mention it. Like, even bat an eye.
Didn't mention it.
So yeah, I think they were surprised whenever I brought that up today, because one of Matt's comments was like, "Yeah, your neighbor, she was pretty concerned about it, but I mean, it wasn't that big of a fire." So, yeah.
What rapid fire questions do you have, Will?
So yes, I would like to try out a segment of the podcast here with our guests, just to leave it off on a kind of fun note, right? And that is, we're going to go through and ask some quick fire questions about house stuff, because that pertains towards your expertise, right? Go
for it.
It's the right
career.
group to try something new.
Yeah, and some of these are to be obviously mass opinions. Toilet paper roll, over or under?
Over.
That's the correct way.
Always over. And when guests are coming, did you know that if you fold the edge of the tissue in a point and then turn on your faucet just to get the spout part wet, and then you press the pointy tip part of the toilet paper up against the spout, it leaves a beautiful design. So when guests come to what are you calling the new calf bathroom? I forget what you all are calling it.
The powder?
No, y'all have a full
the
name
fun
for
room.
it. The fun room.
Yeah.
So when they go to the fun room, it feels so welcoming. It's
Like a
just
spa.
the extra touches.
Yeah.
That's so misleading to label that bathroom as the fun room, by the way. It's just to have like wallpaper.
So do you pull the whole roll? It's
gonna have
What do you
like
mean
to the
pull
sink?
the whole
Oh,
roll? You're
just
the one that's doing it underhanded, aren't you? No.
You take
Pull the whole roll off. Well, as
Bring
much
it.
tissue as women use, you're gonna have to take the whole roll off anyway.
You know what I will say? My desired way of using toilet paper, it's
Is a bidet.
tacky as hell. No, I've never used one because I don't understand how you could just be wet afterwards. Like, I don't understand the drying
I think you
process.
have to pat it dry. Like when it's too sore the next day.
With what?
Just pat it with tissue, like toilet tissue.
But some people bought them to
Toilet
replace
paper
toilet
to
paper.
dry you with is
They
like
also have-
Different than like,
now it's stuck to you everywhere. 'Cause
Yeah.
It just
The rapid
dissolves.
fire was supposed to avoid this, by the way.
so what I like to do, I like to physically hold the toilet roll and undo it myself.
That is
That is
so
my-
white.
It's very white trash, but when presented that opportunity,
The black man did not say that.
it is the best coverage.
Both said it.
It's the most effective and efficient, and like I use the least amount of, because I'm one that's like I bunch it when I'm pulling it from the holder, and that prevents me. It's a nice, even, beautiful way of doing
I
it.
feel like that's still too much
So
toilet
you wrap
paper.
your whole hand
I'll wrap my whole hand, take
like
my hand
you
out,
like you're
and
giving
then,
an ace bandage. Like,
yes, and then you remove it, but it's like nice and a perfect folded amount.
Well, now we know where the water cleanouts are.
Oh, that just
Thank
reminds
God we
me
know where the
because
water
that
cleanouts
feels
are.
like a very bi answer, right? And what was it the other day that you asked me and I said something and you're like, "That's a very bi answer."
Oh, it was such an indecisive.
So cool. I love it.
What
That's
was it?
okay.
Yeah,
That's so
it was such a.
Well, I like both or something like that.
It was
He's like,
such
"Of
a
course you do."
cop-out.
You must be a Libra.
Yeah, it was like, and they were
Aquarius.
drastically different things. It's still driving me nuts now that I don't remember this, but yes, they were very drastically different things, and that is a very bi answer that you just gave, Paige.
Another rapid fire: salty or sweet?
If I had to choose sweets,
Okay.
I have the biggest sweet tooth, but I love, when you're eating a cookie and you taste just that one little kernel, or what would it be? I guess you could call it a kernel of salt. It just, when it's just like perfect, the amount of sweet, the amount of the perfect amount of salty. Oh,
Granular of
A
salt.
single grain of
a
salt.
grain of
Grain?
salt. But
Is
I'm
it a
thinking
grain of
grain
salt?
because I'm
It's a
thinking like
granular.
wheat's grain,
Right.
like wheat grain. It's
I know
whole
what you
grain
mean,
salt. But I think it would be a granule because it's granulated sugar.
Yeah.
So I think it would be like a granule of salt. Yeah.
And it's delicious.
What's the perfect temperature for a home?
The colder, the better. Yeah. In the wintertime, I don't even cut on the heat. Hardly ever. I have like a little space heater if I'm on the sofa. But the colder, the better.
What
I cannot
temperature
stand
do
to
you
be
like
hot.
sleep at?
Like 69, 70.
Oh, that's even a little warm. I might go down as far as 67.
But girl, you have body heat on both sides, so.
They won't.
Wait,
let me
where
go
do
down
you
to
sleep in them? Who
67.
sleeps where? I know that. I'm sorry. We were supposed to be doing a rapid fire.
Paige is usually in the middle just
Yeah.
because she is always cold.
That's perfect.
Yeah.
And he and I
She's
are
the
always
only one
hot.
with the jacket on now.
Yeah.
But
Always cold. I'm like 60.
I've had to slowly get used to like sleeping with it at a warmer temperature. It's very hard.
And I'm a cuddler too, so if you're in the bed with me, we're snuggling. Even if it's like a homeboy, we're gonna snuggle. So it has to be cold because I'm radiating heat all the time.
Yeah. Gas or electric?
Gas? What the hell is wrong with you, woman?
Oh, nothing. Gas would.
Gas?
Gas is my answer. I was just trying to think of another rapid fire home
For
question.
cars.
Even for
Well, because I
cars.
know what's the induction stoves became very, very popular for a while.
Yeah.
And everybody was trying to say, ooh, it's even better than gas. And I'm like, no.
It's a whole different
What about for
experience.
dryers? Like washer and dryers.
I would do electric for that.
Okay.
Yeah, but to cook on, there's nothing better. Like when my husband and I were buying our house, I was like, I don't really care. Obviously I cared. There was a laundry list of things that I had to have, and a gas stove was on that, or at least a gas line. And I was like, I have to have a gas stove. That was, because I can't say, ooh, child, I'm in here cooking with gas, but on an electric stove, it doesn't really, it tastes like it's electric.
What's the number one thing that new buyers mess up?
Not being honest about the finances in the beginning. Ooh. That's the biggest thing. They'll say, and not being realistic about, okay, this is what I can afford, and not really understanding, okay, there's always going to be a sacrifice. You're not going to be able to find the perfect house in the perfect location, and it's going to check all of the boxes. If you can find the perfect house, in perfect meaning, it's in a great location that meets all of your logistical needs, and it's also has great attractions, and it's within your budget, and you say, okay, well, within the next 5 to 10 years per se, these are all the things that we could do to the house to make it perfect. Great. So if you can get the house with the lake view, that lake is always going to be there. The house around the corner is never going to get that, so that house might be more desirable. But really, it just goes back to not every house is going to accommodate everything. Even sometimes if you go complete custom, there's just going to be certain things you won't be able to do, because even though they can customize your house, your budget may only be $1 million. Well, after that, what are you going to sacrifice?
I have a couple of friends that built a custom home only a few years ago, and they are now completely redoing that custom home and adding a whole other floor.
Wow.
It's like,
Wow.
Location matters. All right, what's the number one mistake sellers make?
Really, it's overpricing their home, but not following their realtor's advice. Because a lot of times, like even for family members that they wanted to list with me, I'm like, okay, I'm letting you know, I'm going to say some things that are going to hurt your feelings, but I want you to sell your home. It's not personal. This is my experience. There was a scenario where in the middle of COVID, you priced your house low and you sold it for high. And my relative, they were like, no, we want to price it for what homes are selling for, and we probably will get more. I'm like, I don't recommend this, because the house around the corner with the pool that is much more desirable sold for this. I don't care. This is what I'm going to list my house for. We ended up selling it for less than the house that was already less than theirs. Yeah, it was not a kiss. I mean, it was a kiss of death to do that. But yeah, those are my two biggest things. But also just the way that you all just embraced, like, my genuine, can I cuss?
Yeah.
What the fuck? When I walked in and I was like, oh my gosh, y'all did everything? Don't worry, I'll paint this pantry. I got this, y'all. Like, I'm like, seriously, to know that y'all said, okay, send us the list. And it was done. It really does make a huge difference when I feel that when buyers are looking and they say, I want a home in this neighborhood, and this is the number of bedrooms and bathrooms and whatever their bells and whistles are. If there was another house that was just like yours that got sold first, I would be like, what the heck happened? Because the home is truly magnificent. And it's, for me, as a realtor, if I'm not excited about your home, it's going to be very difficult for me to sell your home. But with the passion, knowing that y'all did what you were supposed to do, now it's up to me to sell the bad boy. So for me to be able to go through and talk about, oh, and you can do this, and oh, imagine that, and don't you love that? Yes. It's genuine because the home is magnificent because of the work that y'all put in.
They did a lot.
They did. It was.
And in like 2 weeks, it's crazy.
Literally. I'm like, there's no way in the world y'all are going to be able to get this done, especially when we found out the revised timeline.
Oh, goodness.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, so clear out the guest room. I'm going to bring Charlotte over. I hope the dogs are okay with the little one. I'm going to have to be here for a minute. We're going to get this done together. But yeah, y'all banged it out. I don't know how. I'm not going to ask any
I
questions.
just didn't sleep very much.
Yeah, I did a lot.
He called some of his people from the past and was like, need you to come hook me up.
I listened to the entire book of Count of Monte Cristo on audiobook, not the shortened version, like the in-depth one. And for those that do not know the length of that, 46 hours. I painted for 46 hours. and it got done.
It got done.
And it got done. And we had...
Big old check mark.
So it was great because I went through and I did all the rough painting. I got the paint on the walls. And then Cam, with her amazing artist skills, came in and just did the fine touching that just really made everything pop, right?
On one wall, you give me too much credit. You're very sweet.
Wall.
Don't discount your work.
But
It's the best
I really
wall.
just did the one painted accent wall.
Don't make me
like
take
the
back everything I
edges
said
of it.
about you.
I want to stop Cam from not overselling this wall because she needs to oversell it. I, no joke, heard on the Ring doorbell, because every time I hear the ring go off, I'm like, is it someone about to go look
That's
at
a
the house?
buyer.
And then it hasn't been because the market sucks. But we had a neighbor walk by and she commented to her husband, she was like, yeah, they just have the most gorgeous teal wall in this bedroom.
Oh,
And I was
It's a
like,
good choice.
that was Cam.
You did good, mama.
That's the ultimate compliment, is when someone points it out to their spouse.
yeah.
I want that.
Yeah. And then that happens a lot with me recently. Whenever they're like, oh, look at them. It's working for them.
Right.
I want that. I want that. I want
Right.
that. Can we add another one?
It's like every room gets an accent wall. I'm like, oh gosh.
Or an accent spouse. You know?
Oh,
Yeah.
Maybe
maybe
that's
a
what
spouse with-
I'm an
with an
accent
accent.
spouse.
she's from France. Honey, speak. Let them hear your accent.
All right. One last question for you, Jermaine. Did you have fun, man? Did you enjoy
Did I
this?
have fun?
Yeah.
I
How was
always
this?
have a blast. And it's so genuine. Like, seriously, just knowing that you guys are just so, like, what, the second time I was at Petersburg? Like, when you were telling me about your trophy? Like, how do you do that just almost off the bat and just share that story?
Oversharing. It's a key.
Chronic oversharing.
It's like, you know, my mom's
trait
Mother's
of
Day
all
gift
of us.
from 1996. So it's like when you just meet people and you're
Yeah.
just genuine and fun. Because, you know, sometimes you can have deep conversations and you're like, wow, this is so draining because the conversation is so heavy. It's like we can have those real conversations and it's just a conversation, but it's fun and it's enlightening. And I learned something today and tried new things. I'm like, chai latte, yum. Can't wait to have another one.
Well, Jermaine, it's definitely been our pleasure, and we are so grateful that you are working with us and on this journey of us getting to our new home that will be
home.
our dream home. I mean, outside of the only thing it's missing for me is location.
Yeah.
But
that was the sacrifice.
that was the sacrifice, and
Texas.
everything else is amazing. And you helped facilitate that, and you stand up for it. You point out amazing things that I was like, oh yeah, I probably should have caught that. But we can't wait to have you over to the new place for
Yes.
food and for hangouts and game nights
There's
and everything
definitely
else.
enough space.
Yo, man, you'll be able to crash if you have one too many wines or too many Dos Equis or whatever.
My new favorite
Or
beer.
too many chai lattes.
Yeah. And
I don't think my bladder's gonna last all the way back to Dallas.
yeah, we got plenty of bathrooms in this one. But it has been incredible to be able to chat with you
I've had a
and
blast.
learn more about you and hopefully have people connect with your story and your point of view and understand a little bit more what it's like to be a realtor and how in this economy we're all struggling. So again, thank you and can't wait to host you for game night.
So glad to be here. Ooh, game night.
And for our listeners, thank you for tuning in to Fourth Wheel Podcast. We're to have some new episodes coming at you shortly, and we'll see what those are about. I don't know. Maybe it'll be fun. Who knows what the next adventure leads, because we never do.
It'll always be fun because we're doing it together.
Aww.
And that includes you, listeners. Man, is there an orgy I didn't get invited to?